Yes, thanks for staying with us. Time to turn our attention to hockey. Got a couple of state under-21 coaches, one for the men, one for the women, Tim White and Ian Jennings with us in the studio. Thanks for coming in, fellas.
Thank you.
Well, let's start first with you. Ian, what are you trying? You've got 2 weeks before you head off to play. What's the focus in the next couple of weeks?
So the focus now is pretty much the end of our preparation. We're looking at playing some practice games against the Hotshots and really refining some of our set plays, our penalty corners, that sort of thing. So it's all pretty much game-based.
All right, pretty happy with the lead-in?
Yeah, not too bad actually. Had a couple of really minor injuries, but outside of that, the prep has actually gone fairly well.
What about you, Tim? What's the next couple of weeks for you?
Similar. Two more practice games. Unlike the men, we've had a bit more of a difficult preparation because some of our athletes have come from or are coming from interstate to join the team. So we've only got 13 who we've been coaching here in Adelaide during the prep. We've got 4 who join us from interstate, from Queensland actually, and Gabby Nance is a hockey-roo who will join us, and so she's been training over there in Perth. So it's been a bit more difficult to sort of do the set plays and preparation, but we've done what we can, and the squad is preparing as well as it could be.
So how do you communicate those set plays to them? Is it video link? Is it? Okay, so
video links, playbooks, and also. Pretty intensive lead-in when we arrive. We get to Tasmania next Friday. We play a practice game against Tasmania that afternoon. We then train the next day, but we've got 48 hours before our first game, so there'll be lots of meetings, video, making sure that everyone's on the same page in terms of team rules and set plays and so on.
Yeah, and look, if you look at a lot of our national sports, South Australia has gone. They wobble a bit,
Yes.
whether it be AFL or A-League soccer, whatever it might be. But hockey's been a constant where South Australia's always been well regarded. What is it? It's a foundation or a framework in place that just works.
Well, it has been. I mean, I think. In recent years, that's probably been questioned a little bit, and Queensland and New South have been the sort of superpowers, if you like, whereas South Australia have struggled in recent years at both senior and junior levels. We've had some good recent results with some of our younger teams. The 21s women who I'm taking away have had good recent success of playing finals for the last few years with a batch that have sort of come through, but there have been some recent innovations, and they'll be rolled out throughout the community in the next sort of few months with some more pathway programs, which I've worked with Hockey SA to kind of instigate with Hugh Purvis, who I think's been on here before.
Yep.
And we're hoping that with a more of a targeted priority program that we can lift the performances of our state teams in the coming years.
All right, do we hold you accountable in any way, you two blokes, for the weather, to prepare for Hobart and Canberra, 3 degrees in the morning? Can we put something on you blokes to change the weather for us? Because normally you go into those conditions, I mean, it'd be difficult. Let's say, for example, you're playing up in Cairns or Darwin. So as horrific as it's been for the people in Adelaide, it probably has been pretty good for you guys with your preparation.
Yeah, certainly the weather has some impact. Luckily, we don't play too early in the morning, but
it won't matter in Canberra.
Very true. But I think we're getting acclimatised with the weather we've had. So yeah,
and we have been training at 6 a.m. on Saturday mornings, and I think it was 4 degrees on last Saturday. So we told the players that this is what they're going to be playing in when they're there. So a little bit of acclimatisation there.
Tim, I'm just interested to go back a step there on the pathways you're setting up for the juniors, because again, there's a lot of competition from all sports to secure that player at a young age. And football's been beaten around the head a little bit by soccer in recent years. Do you find the competition hot, and at what level does it start?
I think so. I mean, I think they're, just the raw numbers of kids playing hockey has probably dropped a little bit just with the number of choices that they can make now. So I guess it's our job to make hockey for the young ones attractive but also affordable. And so, for example, in some other states, they run programs for their elite young players, but they're quite cost prohibitive, to be honest, and we can't afford to do that here. So we somehow have to come up with a program that meets their needs, gives them the development opportunities that they need, but also we can't sort of cut out families who can't afford it, sort of thing. So that's what we're working on.
You both talked about early morning trainings, and then of course that age group, their exams, they're working. How do you fit the training program in? How does it work? Is it more after hours stuff, or is it more early mornings?
So Saturday morning's been pretty much a constant 6 a.m. till 8 a.m. And we do have to work around, most of the players play Premier League, so they will generally train Tuesday, Thursday nights. So we choose to train Monday and Wednesday, and it is hard to fit everything in, particularly with the SASI athletes as well. So we do have to monitor the workload of the athletes.
That's the next concern. That's my next question. Is regardless of the sport, regardless of what you've got, injuries going into any form of tournament, championship, weekend game is a worry. Is it a big concern? Because the players are in Premier League. How do you monitor?
Yeah, so we have really good communication with both the players and the coaches.
Okay.
And we do have a physio that's attached to each of the state teams. We do have a couple of players at the moment that do have soft tissue injuries, but nothing of any real concern that's going to keep them out of the championships. But it is something that we do have to monitor.
So, of this lot that we're taking, with Olympics 12 months away, is there any that are knocking on the door, putting their hand up, saying, "Hey, I'm ready to go"?
Not for the women. I'll answer that. So Gabby Nance is our marquee player, if you like. So she will be one of only a few girls playing in the tournament who's played for the Hockeyroos.
Yes.
So she was in our SASI program for 2 years and moved to Perth this year with the Hockeyroos squad. So the Hockeyroos and the Kookaburras are in Belgium at the moment, and they need to finish top 3 over there to qualify for Rio, and then they have an extra qualification if that doesn't work. And Gabby was really close to making that team, and that's their full strength team. So she's only been in Perth for 6 months, and she's got another 14 months before Rio, so she can push for selection, definitely.
Any doubt about the Hockeyroos? You just said it, that's the first time I've heard about them having to qualify. I just expect them to be there and a medal-winning hope every single Olympics.
Well, there is doubt, because the way this tournament's structured is that they play in 2 pools, but then once they get to quarterfinals, it's elimination, and so top could play 4th who don't win a game, lose that game. So the Hockeyroos play Italy tonight. You'd expect them to win. However, hockey's a fickle game, and umpiring decisions, a goalkeeper can have a standout game or whatever.
And those Italians too.
And those Italians, we don't know much about the Italians, but they're flary and creative and can do anything. So, but even if they win that, they then have to either win their semi to automatically qualify or win the 3v4 to automatically qualify. So it's not a given. We just expect them to be there because they always are. The Kookaburras are playing really well, but they also play Ireland, who are this emerging nation who knows, they've finished top of their pool and have beaten everyone and look really good. But
you talk about that at the international level. It's not that different at the under-21s, though. There's certain styles and states that you play against where that style of game just really causes problems for your style of game. Is there one particular state for the men and for the women where you go, their style of game is a real problem for us?
I think for the guys, it's obviously in New South Wales, they always come very well prepared, very well drilled, and do have a really high standard of athlete. And Victoria as well have got a very, very solid side this year, so it is going to be quite hard.
The women?
Traditionally, Victoria women play a slightly different style, and if you don't prepare for it, the girls during the game could come up and go, I'm not sure who I'm meant to be marking here, I don't know what they're doing, sort of thing. And we play them in the first game, and it's a 2-pooled tournament, and so it's cutthroat really. If you lose that game, you are really backs against the wall to qualify the top 4. So we will be making sure that we're well prepared for them first up, and that'll be, in my view, for the women a 50-50 game, and so first up it'll be important that we get over the line.
All right, we'll talk about the footy gods. We need the hockey gods to be with you in a couple of weeks' time. Fellas, thanks for coming in. We need to slip away to take a break, and then more to come. Good luck the next couple of weeks, fellas. Hope you don't get any injuries, and it's a great tournament. We'll take a break. Back with more in a moment.